Wanna run up in my spot then? Okay. This is a new way. Y'all hear the music. I'm back in yard right now. I'm back in Jamaica now. I'm psych. But I'm having a whole Jamaica moment, and this is the first time I'm doing this live on camera, not camera, on computer. So this is new for me. Let me see if I can see where the comments are. Okay. So live. Happy whatever day this is for you. Let me stop my jamming. I was jamming while I was trying to figure out, how to utilize the camera. So let's see which way we gonna put it. We're talking about the 9-day. This is Beyond the Gateway, 9-day Sirius Gateway. I know I've been talking about the 5 days and it being from the 3rd to the 7th, but this will happen when downloads just keep coming. Information just comes. So I'm double live and double vibing right now. I'm going to get the other live up in the meantime while we talk about this 9 days and where this 9 days came from. And by the way, also putting it together with the 9-month gestation messages. You've probably seen the video. If not, you might want to check out the video or the shorts on that. All right, so we going live now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are we live? Divine greetings, celestial greetings to whoever's here and there. We talking to the tick of the talk of the cosmic clock. I got to be going back and forth like this until I figure out, how to position the camera. So I got to give all the hearts to get the engine going, to get it all started. I know it's in the wee hours, so those who probably come through on the tick of the talk is going to be like hours behind. Maybe like Pacific time and whatnot. So not too late, like, after 1, but it's still, evening for me. And this day was a day, specifically the first half, really sitting in and taking in these light codes and getting the code of 9, July 9th, and it being a number 9. So the codes were just coming in. Peace, love, and light. Tribe of Judah, welcome in to the lioness den. Ashe, ashe. Happy Beyond the Sirius Gateway. Well, what people know it to be, which is usually from the 3rd to the 7th. But today, the downloads, the crown loads were coming in. It was like, it's 9 days. Today is July 9th. It would usually, according to the 3D calendar, remember y'all, we got a whole 5D calendar going on as well. And usually the Sirius Gateway, for those who don't know what Sirius is, let me know. Judah, let me know. Tribe of Judah, you know about the Sirius Gateway? Since you're here with me right now, anyone who knows about the Sirius Gateway, if you ever heard of the Sirius Gateway, the Sirius Star, which they say the Dogon, the Dogon tribe, our ancient ones and ancestors always knew about this star, and we come into alignment with it every year, particularly at this point in time. So I don't know if you've heard of it or not. Let me know. Drop it in the chat or something. Let me know if you've heard of the Sirius Gateway, Sirius Star. The Sirius Star is aligned with our sun right now, particularly at this time. So we're getting a lot of light codes coming through the Sirius Star, coming from always everything. All kind of light codes are coming from the galactic center. The Sirius Star is a part of that, and all other stars that are in there as well, including our star, the sun, Solaris. Our sun is known as Solaris. So basically we have a Solaris and Sirius conjunction. And the way it's aligned is as if you have Sirius, the sun, and earth. Sirius, the sun, and earth. So in the middle is the sun. So we're getting the light codes coming in from Sirius through the sun and penetrating the earth. So that's the alignment right now. In the opposition of this, there's 2 alignments that we have with Sirius every year. So this is the one we have now in the exact opposition, which will be around January 1st. it would be another alignment, but instead the earth will be in the middle. Instead of the sun being in the middle, the earth would be in the middle. And that's because it's according to where we are in our orbit around the sun. Because remember, we are the ones going around the sun. Sirius is where it is, the sun is where it is, and they have their own, alignment thing going on, and we're the ones going around the sun. So if Sirius is here, let me see if I could give a visual. I wish I had a drawing. If Sirius is here and the sun is here, and we're the ones orbiting around, it would mean then that the earth is over here right now for the sun to be in the middle. The earth would be over here, and as it continues to come around, the earth will be in the middle and Sirius will be here. So this is what happens every year with the Sirius alignment. So Sirius is here, sun is here, we're moving around the sun. Right? And whenever we meet these points of alignment, there is definitely some communication. There's definitely some cosmic communication, light codes coming through, light energy and information. And remember, I always say this is synonymous. So light energy and information going through. Ashe, ashe. Pass it on in, pass it through. Let me send some hearts, continue to send some hearts so that those who are on this frequency can get this information. So, anyhow, that is the alignment. So, why am I talking about that now? Because usually we have the alignment of, how do I explain it? We usually have the alignment of from 7-3 to 7-7. That's the one that I've been hearing of. I want to say over the past 2 years, I've been more aware of the Sirius Gateway. I became aware maybe about 3 years ago. But for the past year or two, I've been hearing more or getting more understanding, particularly from and through Dr. Sirius, if you've ever heard of him. Dr. Sirius has this information. Dr. Sirius B. Is he called Dr. Well, Sirius B. He really gave a good explanation of how this alignment looks, right? And so that this gateway would be from 7-3 to 7-7, and this is how I held it in mind. I even have videos talking about it. So if you see videos before this, you'll see welcome in, love and light, love and light. Stush, is that Stush? Happy Sirius Gateway. We are speaking to you now beyond the gateway. And why I'm saying beyond the gateway, because usually we would say it closes 7-7 on the 7-7 portal. However, we are beyond it. It is being expanded. And I know this is coming to those who are really building the fifth dimension. We are really in a different time right now. We're in a different time and dispensation within the 5D dimension generation, so to speak, right? Everything is coming online more right now. So also with us being in this 9-month gestation, right? This 9-month gestation from Aries to Sagittarius. So a lot of things are coming more clear, hence why I more likely was getting the downloads at this time. So the 9, and this is what I want. You might want to watch the video to see if you want a really detailed information about the download of this particular 9-day Sirius star alignment. You may want to look on YouTube and look for, it's labeled Beyond the Gateway 9-day Sirius light code, something like that, and it'll break it down more. I give you clear information about the download, fresh as I got it, breaking it down. So the Sirius Gateway, it's usually, so the one that we're talking about now, it starts like July 1st. From July 1st, it just says it starts July 1st. It doesn't really tell you how long, but those of us who have been in it, those of us who've been aware of it, know. For those of you in the spiritual community, know that it's from, usually the Sirius Gateway is 7-3 to 7-7. So this we are aware of, right? The second alignment all the way in January is a different alignment, as I said, with the Earth in the middle. So this one is really potent because it's as if it's lined with the sun. So the sun is what gives us our light energy and information, our signals and everything. We get them directly through our soul star, our galactic soul star, which is the sun. For those of you who know what the soul star is, right? The soul star would be above your crown, right? The chakra, the soul star chakra is above your crown. We all have our own individual personal soul star. Our collective soul star, our solar system, you can kind of call it the galactic soul star, will be our sun. And so all information, just like the crown is our gateway, and our crown is getting information from our soul star, which is the true gateway into the cosmos. All of that is coming in. So just like that information comes in through the soul star, through our crown, and through the core of our being, so too does that information happen. Think of the earth. The earth, the body of the earth, has meridians and chakras just like you and me, right? Look them up, Google it. It's there. Ask for a map of the earth's chakra meridians, and you will see them. And when you do see them, a lot of you will put a lot of information together. Tap it up, tap it up. Thank you for those who are coming through. Love and light to you. Tap up the heart so that those who are on this frequency can get the information, can find us on the frequency, right? So with that, if you can look up and you can Google the Earth's meridians, you'll see it. And a lot of you will notice that where the crown chakra is, remember what I just said, we got a lot of information comes through the crown. The crown chakra of the earth is located, let's say, in the ring of fire, right? The crown and the earth is kind of bordering the ring of fire. For those of you who are aware of the ring of fire, that's where all that volcanic and earth activity is happening, pretty much aligning the Pacific. So while you're seeing all these earthquakes in the Philippines, Japan, Kamchatka, Hawaii, and then California, because the crown chakra is more on California side, and the not the crown, the root, and the crown is on the other side, on where Kamchatka is, pretty much in that area is the crown. So imagine all the light codes, like I just said, let's put it all together now. All the codes are coming in through the crown, going through the earth, going through the body. So too does the earth. So information coming into the earth is coming in through the soul star, our sun, into the crown of the earth, where pretty much that region of Kamchatka and all of that is, and then throughout the body of the earth, through all hitting all the points, all the meridians within the earth, right? So hence why you're seeing all of this uptick. And if you kind of follow it, you can kind of see where it comes through the crown. And then we saw earthquakes kind of happening in California where the root is. And then we saw the South America, the one in Venezuela, and South America is kind of where the sacral is. So the next hits may be around where the solar plexus is, where there may be some stuff going on. And the solar plexus is more like where Australia is. So I know it's ping pong back and forth when it comes to the earth. The earth's meridians. Greetings, greetings. I can see comment. The earth meridians are not like straight line like us. It's not like crown, third eye, throat, da da. It's not like that. The earth meridians, and you look them up, you'll Google, you'll see they're like ping pong. They're like here, 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 there. They're like, it's not one straight line, the earth chakras. So with that said, if we think about that now, let's bring it back to the information coming through our soul star into our crown. So the soul star being the sun, think about the direct light codes information that we're getting from Sirius when the sun aligns with Sirius. From Sirius star, sending these light codes through the sun, that is information that is sending it directly to it. Look at it like a straight line communication. It don't got to go here, here, and straight line. Sirius, sun, earth. That's the direct lineage. That's the direct line of light code information that we're getting. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Am I the only one? Who else here knows about Sirius? Y'all don't. I know I'm not alone. Where my star seeds at? Tap in, tap in. Drop it in the chat. Star seed. If you know about Sirius, drop it in the chat. Sirius. If you've been feeling the nine, the code of nine, drop a 999 in the chat. Or have you been seeing nines? If any of you have been seeing nines, you have been being called into this. All right. So drop a nine. Let me see who has been hearing about this, seeing about it, feeling it, getting intuitive nudges from your spirit team. You just been seeing 999, or you've been hearing it, or you've been seeing 77. Maybe you've been seeing fives, because fives have to do with this as well. But nine is really the number for today, being that today is the ninth. And not just the, but there's something about today being a ninth, while why it was speaking to me specifically. And when I did the date code, which is when you add up the numbers in the date code, it's a 8, because it's 26, and 2 and 6 is 8. So there's a date code of 8, which the message that was coming through clear was, this is an infinite, because 8 is infinite existence, or infinity, or however people choose to see that as infinite. Either way, it's infinite, it's creation, it's creativity, because creation is infinite. So that's why it kind of has that double meaning as well. Um, but it's the infinite access to the spiritual completion, which is the 9, to the spiritual completion of the 9 days light code of Sirius light code integration. Let me say that again. It is 8, which is an infinite access. That means we are coming online to this. We are tapping into the infinite access of information about the spiritual completion 9 of the 9 days Sirius light code integration, which are the light codes that we're all integrating right now. How many of you have been feeling like you're called into a fast? Have you been in a fast? Let me see who has been connecting with these light codes. Have you been into a fast? You can just put it in there: fast, detox. Anybody. Let me see. Let me see what we saying on TikTok. How can we prove the earth chakras as where they say they are? How can we prove them? Well, basically, we're gonna have to look at our own connection and guidance and what we feel based on what's happening. Like for me, it's what I feel when I see things, when I read things. Like especially with my sharp third eye, I don't just take everything that's given to me. If it doesn't resonate, something's gonna be like, But this is something that it connects, and especially and particularly with the crown chakra being in that region where the ring of fire is, because every time we get hit with solar flares, in which those solar flares is light energy and information coming to us in a velocity through the solar winds to penetrate the planet, giving us the light codes, the upgrade, the fifth density light. Whenever that comes in, we can't deny it. Look where it's hitting. When those solar flares hit, within a few days or so, it's going to be some type of geological event, because it hits the earth and the earth responds. It's a part of the pulsation of the earth. The Schumann resonance goes up a little bit. Why? Because the Schumann resonance is the pulsation of the earth. So the earth, which is the heart, earth, same thing. When it comes through, you can feel the pulsation of it, and the earth reacts. And then geologically, there are certain things that happen around that crown to root chakra area, which is what? The ring of fire. So that's how I would confirm it. I confirm by how it connects to us in truth, and by bearing witness to what's happening in the earth when it happens. Ashe? Faithfully, I answer that question. Sirius 9. Yes, we're in a Sirius 9, and then detox. So, yeah, we have detox here. Has anybody here been detoxing or fasting? Let me see. Anybody? Let me know who's here. Peace, love, and light beyond the gateway we're talking about right now. And the 9-month gestation that we're in right now. For those who don't know, I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but I wanted to at least go over the 9-day Sirius gateway. And what does that mean? And what are we talking about? I was, but not for long. Okay, how long? Something different. Ooh, you something different. I like something different type of people. Something different. How long were you detoxing or fasting for? How long would you say that you were? Let me get this out of the way of the ring light. There we go. Bring it closer. Come, won't you come closer? Um, and Ginger, okay. Why am I fighting to read? I got my glasses out here. I know I brought them. Why am I fighting? Okay, since the fourth. Okay, so you kind of came in the middle, right in the middle. Since the fourth, and are you still detoxing now? Echinacea and bulk ginger. Okay, you've been on echinacea and bulk ginger and doing it since the fourth. And has it been a detox or a fast? I don't know if you answered that. Is it a detox specifically or a fast? Detox or fast, if you could let me know. I was trying since the full moon. Okay, so you were tapped in since see, I didn't even get to that yet. You were tapped in since the full moon. So even though, and no, triers are for liars. So you weren't trying, you was doing. You did something, you started something intuitively, you were being guided. A little of both, not really eating much, just juices and water. Exactly. And you've been guided. Most people, this is how I know the true ones, the real 144 ascendants, and the true ones that are awakening to the true time reality, right? Because think of these realities. When I say true time reality, they're like three zones, and you may hear me speak on that more often. It's almost like time zones within our timeline shifting, right? So you have these categories of time zones: ideal time, real time, true time reality. Those who are really tapped into true time reality, and there are even levels within each group. So it's not just, cookie cutter, I'm in this group, because you may have people in ideal time that fluctuate in and out. If they're more in the, let's say, the more ascended levels of ideal time, they may be fluctuating in and out between ideal time and real time. And every now and then, if they really do a timeline jump, they might tap into true time reality and then, back out. So it's kind of like a fluctuation, right? But anyway, let me get back to the point. So the true time reality, those who are really awakening to that, there is so much coming online for a lot of us now. So you may have intuitively been guided, like you said, since the full moon. And that's exactly what I was going to talk to us about. It's starting right after that. Because if you look at it, the full moon was on the 29th. If you were doing the full moon window, if anyone were doing the full moon workshop with me, that full moon window would is from the 26th of June to the 2nd of July. It's a 7 day, 3 days before the full moon up to 3 days after. So it's like 7 days window. And we would have ended on the 2nd. So coming right out of the full moon, some people, as the full moon was passing, they were just feeling a calling, feeling a need to go into this detoxing and this meditating more, grounding more, sitting outside, things like that, pulling away from like external things, um, detaching from old concepts, detaching from um, old, like, just old things you used to do, detaching from family. A lot of you may have been doing that, particularly with this full moon, because this full moon, the same day of this full moon was when Mercury went into retrograde. So Mercury was like, hold up, pull up, let's pull up some stuff we need to review right now. And it's in Cancer. So it's also pulling up what Jupiter was uncovering for the past year that it had been in Cancer, which has to do with home life and family life. So if any of you have felt any upstirs in the home life, family life, for sure, that's what this last full moon was doing, but with good reason. With good reason. It's all, especially for those of you who are ascending and transcending, this is part of the transcendence, right? Let me see if I missed anything you were saying. Hold on, because I know you were saying some. A little bit of both. Okay. Went to the herbal shop last week and went crazy. Okay. You went, see, you're being called into this, like, let's detox. The body is saying, let's clear this up, right? And it's not just about the body, but the body is connected to the soul. The mind body complex is connected. So the body is naturally calling for certain things. And this is why we got to listen to our body. This is why we got to listen to when it's saying, I don't want to eat this right now. And not even just, I don't want to eat it, but when you do eat something and it doesn't really sit right with you, and it's something that you probably never had a problem with before, probably were like, I always ate this, no problem. But now it's just feeling heavy and you didn't even eat too much. So you really just paying attention to that, right? Ashe? Let me see what else he said. Yeah, for sure. Okay. My brother just got, oh, all right. Sending you lots and lots of love and light because what that to surround you, particularly at this time, during this time of transition, because that is a transition. And it is a part of the purging. And what I always say is that we also have to respect when they choose to loop out. We may not understand it, but we all know when we're coming and when we're going into this earth, even though it's unfavorable to those that are around us. And that's usually what I always look at to keep me focused when someone has transitioned. So, and with that, you're also going to experience a loss. That's going to hit the heart chakra. You're going to experience a loss. That loss, the experience of that loss happens through grief. So, grief is always what happens when we lose anything, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, any type of loss. It could be losing not just a person, but a favorite thing. A lot of us who are shifting into a new timeline, we're experiencing a loss of our old self, a loss of our old life, old connections, the way we were used to doing things, a loss of familiarity. All of this brings about grief. So the world, the planet, and every time I sit out in the earth, I feel the grief of the planet every time. I go out and I ground. As soon as I get up, I get my lime water. I sit out by my tree with my squirrels, with my birds. I just sit in nature and I always can feel like the grief of the planet. And it is a grieving process, but it doesn't have to always stay sad. But take your time and go through because this is someone, close to you. So take your time and process it and go through it and respect his decision, even though it may be like he did not decide this. I don't know how the transition went. And a lot of times when we really understand like the higher realms and things, it's the spirit doesn't look at how we go. That's really like a human mind type of thing that kind of looks at, oh man, it shouldn't have been. But the spirit just knows that this is the transit, this is the exit, this is the way out, this is how I choose to go. Um, and it's all part of what is happening and what needs to happen. So, with that, what you do is you respect his decision, his spirit's decision, and you remember him. Memories help. Always remember the good. Always remember, and I'm not saying that we don't got to think about things messed up that people did too, because you can laugh about it and you can enjoy the human mistakes that we make. Um, and you can remember in love, what did he come to teach you? So that helps with the process. What's this part of the process that I needed to know? um, why did I need to experience this particular loss? What does it mean to me? Things like that. Ashe, that was my twin. I just lost my half, my heart. Oh, hold on, I didn't even read that. It'd be so sad. I can understand. Whoa, and twin, that's even more personal because you came in together. And so this leaving could really, it's like a heavier grief because you could really be feeling like you left me. Like a lot of us feel like that when we lose people, but when you lose someone you came in this world with, it's like, damn, you left me. Right? So let me see. I do believe, and don't rush yourself out. Take your time, go through the stages of grief because there's definitely grief. So take your time, go through the different stages. Of course, there's going to be anger, denial, bargaining, and then acceptance. Eventually, the four stages, which there really are five. um, can't remember the fifth step now because that was more new. I'm always aware of the four stages. So you want to give yourself a chance to go through that. Don't get stuck at bargaining because a lot of times we get stuck at bargaining. When you gain, you experience loss, grief, Oh, you experience loss. Grief is a natural part of life, and it is to be experienced with the pain and pleasures thereof. Ashe, thank you for sharing that. So, when we gain something else, that's true, because a lot of times, just like what we're talking about shifting timelines, when we gain a new we're in the ascension and we gain a new access to ourselves, and we're in a higher timeline, we gain something more. When we go deeper into 5D, we gain something more, and when we gain something, we're going to experience a loss of something else. So you can kind of look at it like that too, like there's something where you are ascending in and you are gaining, and this is what for some reason happens to be a part of the loss that you're experiencing. um, and that grief is that natural part of life, right? And we experience it so we can go through the motions of the experience and really feel what the emotion, the energies in motion are bringing to us, because there's definitely some information that wants to come through. Allow that. And what I would say is, do your best not to be so blocked off in your sadness, because it will be hard for him to um like come through. Like when there's really really heavy grief, they often um it's like a block, I guess, and it's harder for them to kind of, it's like they can't, it's like a thick smoke, if I could explain it that way. It's like this thick smog or whatever, or fog, and it's harder for them to get through. So be as open as you can be, and accepting the transition, and accepting it as, I get to see you more often. You know, when they transition, they there like as quick as a thought. You could speak to him anytime. It's like you could say, hey, he probably saying, hey, look, you could say anything to me now, and anything that was unknown, anything that was left unsaid or whatever, can be, you know, said to him now. He's just right here. It's just they're, it's like they just moved to another room, right? They're not in this physical room with us anymore. That room, he's in the next room now. And so now you can communicate in a way by just thought, by heart and thought, you know, especially when you're sitting in the heart and going into the thoughts. Like when you expand like that, you really commune with them, and they come through a little bit more easy. When there's such a thick grief and heavy pain, it's like a thick cloud for them to get to. Just to share that with you, right? I do believe when people leave the earth, it was a conscious decision. Yes, something different. Correct. My twin is dead. Okay, I saw that. All right. I did speak to that. I don't, let me make sure. God is peace, Darian. Peace, love, and light. Welcome in. Thank you. I do rituals and talk to my ancestors. You can talk to your brother too. Yes, you can. That's why I'm saying it to him, because I'm not saying I do big mediumship, but that is one of the gifts that I do have when I'm ready, because I kind of prefer to it to be turned off and be like, hey, leave me alone. But sometimes when they do come to me, a lot of times they're coming to me because the family member, they're looking for who's accessible, who's open and accessible, that can receive them and can receive the message, meaning not just in your beliefs but in your heart, in your inner standing, um, and who doesn't have the heaviness of grief. Sometimes the more tightly you're connected to them, there's more grief, more anger, more. And when there's a lot of that, it's kind of hard for them to get through. So they'll go through mediums, they'll go through other people. They don't even have to really be a medium. They'll go through people who are more openly um, receptive. It's about receptivity, openly receptive, that can get the message for them in whatever way the message comes, so that they can give it to another person. But you can speak to them, they can speak to you, because it's now they're in the ancestral realm, and everything is like energetic, right? So there's connection that can be had there, right? And he's in the, if it just happened, he's freshly in the, I want to say the in between is what I call the in between. So as soon as you can get to that space, because when it just hits, when it just hit, it hurts. I get it. But as soon as you can get to that space, and the more open you are, the more he'll come through and talk to you, whether it be dreams. It don't have to be like come see you in your room. It could be dreams, visions, things like that. You may hear something if you're especially if you're any type of clairaudient. You may hear in the inner hearing of him. Get a picture. Something different is saying get a picture of him and talk to him through the picture. Yes, if you need something, because as humans, we need something a bit more tangible, right? It's because we're tangible beings. So a lot of times if you need something more tangible, the picture is not for them, it's for you because you need something more tangible. So the picture would also help. You can put his picture up in a frame. You can already give him an altar. You can already honor him, set up an altar for him, put something there that, um, that means something of significance, between you and him, or just something that of significance with him. But put his picture there, put the altar there. You can put a glass with water in it, because that also helps, send them to the light, into the light, or help them transition into the light. You can write a letter. But really, everything on your heart, this is what a lot of people fail to realize. Once they transition, they know everything. They know everything. You don't have to beat up on yourself about, man, I should have said, or I shouldn't have said this. Everything is, they go Godspeed. Y'all know when they say Godspeed, Godspeed, God light, swift speed, they go Godspeed. So everything is as quick as a thought. And they know now things that they didn't know when they were living. That's one of the things that I've had when some people have come back and said certain things to me. I'm talking about the ones that cross over. A lot of times the mistake, how did this conversation go here? We're supposed to be talking about the gateway, the Sirius gateway, but I'm going to go with it wherever spirit take it. A lot of times the mistake that people have is that however the person lived their life, you tend to hold them in that vibration. And a lot of times that's not the vibration that they should have been in, especially if they chose to loop out during this purge. Because for those spirits that are looping out during the purges, it is because, let's say, as they were coming into this world, they made a decision to say, if I don't reach a certain point by X, Y, and Z, by this particular point in the fifth dimensional shift, I choose to loop out so I can have the opportunity to come back as quick as possible before there's a close, before I can't return, type of thing. For whatever reason, the spirits understand why. In our spiritual suit, we know why, even if we don't know all the answers. So a lot of times the way they live their life, we in our human minds, we think, oh my God, this is what it's about. I got to honor this. And that's not always it, right? I need a cord. If I can get a cord, I need a cord. I need a charger cord because this one, I only got a little bit more time here. Let me see what we're saying. Let me see if I can see what y'all saying right now. Damn. Auntie Fine, why thank you. Why thank you. I'm a auntie, y'all. I'm a auntie. So yes, honor. I can always take all the honor in the world. Thank you. And I send honor right back to you. Honor for honor. It takes one honorable one to know another honorable one. Ashe and touche. Um, with that said, what was I saying? Okay, yes, this is very important for those who, when someone passed, we tend to hold them in a certain light, and it's not supposed to be that way. Is it this charge? Thank you. It's not supposed to be that way. So when we hold them in those lower vibrations, and it's harder for them to even work whatever they're working through in the ancestral realm. Once they cross over, they know what they are supposed to be, what they didn't do, this and that. All of that comes to them quickly. So when we hold them in a vibration because we think this is the way they like things, like, okay, for example, let's say one of the things that I saw, let's say they were in a game, right? And this was one that actually came back to me, y'all. So I'm telling y'all a true story. There was one who passed maybe about, was it last year? I think it was about a year ago. And young man too, pretty much almost like family. Couldn't go to nobody his blood family, because they're all clouded. Like they're all cloudy, they're all like low vibrational. So literally came to me. And this is how I know that there's nobody around in his family that he could go to, because me and his mother don't see eye to eye. So for him to come here, that means you couldn't even go to his mom. And the message that he was coming and asking for was something that they still couldn't even honor. I delivered the message and they still didn't want to honor it, because he was in a gang, and the gang has these colors that they wear, and they were all going to wear these gang colors, and that's not what he wanted, because that was not going to help him in his transition. The people that are honoring him, he needed them to honor in a way that was opposite, because how can I explain it? It's like you tether them down to that, and it's harder in their transition. And don't ask me how. I don't know how to go into the details of it, but when they cross over, they need to be freed from anything that was kind of keeping their soul in some kind of bondage and preventing them from evolving and ascending. And so that thing, not only was it bad for him, but he also knew it was bad for all of them, including his bloodline. And the message that he wanted me to tell them to at least wear pink. And there's a reason for that. And that was, they was not going for that. We talking about a whole gang that their color was black and red. And this is, and their whole gang essence took over the service and everything. Like everything, they was just giving homage to the gang culture and everything. And they really think that, well, this is how this person lives, so this is how he wanted. They would put up pictures. All of his pictures are like gang pictures, all of them. This does nothing to help the soul in transit. This is where we go wrong. In our human mind, we think this is what this person wants. And even coming from church folk, even people in his family who go to church. It's why I talk about them church people. Go and talk about I got my life saved and all this. Go to church every Sunday. And then here you go at this man's service doing all kind of throw him up, shoot up the gang signs, and you're going to honor him through his gang life, but yet you go to church. Make it make sense? I don't know, but that's why I can't help people. I gave the message and I left it alone. And actually that's the last time. I think that was the last funeral. Was that the last funeral I went to? No, there was one more after that, but that was when I made my decision that I'm not doing funerals. It's too messy. Energetically, it's too energetically messy. Which is something that I'm gonna mention to y'all when I talk about us being in this 9-month window. Right. So let me see. Hold on. Let me get this at least plugged up so we don't get cut off. And then I'm gonna see what some of you all are saying. So faithfully, that makes sense for some of you. I didn't really plan to come on here and talk about mediumship, but that's where it went. Let me turn back on the light. Oh, bright light, bright light, bright light, bright light. Feel like Gizmo. Bright light, bright light. Just showed my age. Can I honor you? Yes, your beauty is a light in my heart. Ashe, thank you. What's the best tarot cards? Tarot cards. You know, I don't quite rightly know. I use a 7 oracle deck. I don't really have tarot. I haven't really got my tarot game up, but I'm aware of the tarot cards. But for me, I have a oracle deck and I have a moon card deck. And those are the cards I kind of use. I wouldn't know what to say what the best one is for me. It really depends on you. And it's some people even make up their own, like they make up their own deck. It really depends on you. For me, I'm so much about the moon because I do full moon workshops with the chakras. So I have my chakra cards and I have my moon cards because those are the energies that I work with. As an energy alchemist, that's how I alchemize. I'm constantly using my energy centers. I don't play about my life, world, and affairs and utilizing my energy centers because they are all ping, ping, ping. They're all doorways into your consciousness. So let me see. The one you create. Oh, someone answered you. The one you create. See, I didn't even see that. The best tarot cards or oracle decks, whatever you want to call them, are the ones you create. And I've even seen here on TikTok where some of them, I forgot her name, but I'm always dropping in her live. A lady with blonde hair, I can't remember her name, and she got long nails. I'm always just falling in her lives. Probably will fall in one right after this. She has like these cards. You could look at. They look like index cards, and she just has certain random words. Like let intuition guide you, and just write random phrases, words, put them all together, shuffle them up, and the spirit will use you in that way. So you don't even have to go through a big whatever to create them. You could just write some stuff down on some index cards. I'm trying to hear about this Sirius star, something different. It's like I'm trying to hear about it. I'm getting back to it. I thank you. It went for whatever reason. Spirit needed it to go that way. Somebody needed to hear about our loved ones and when they pass over and what we can do. So I had to share it. How old are you? How old do you think I am? I'd like to hear that, please. I'll turn auntie into a mommy real quick. My mommy days over. It's over. You might need a moderator host, right? I thought about that, but I guess because I'm usually a small room, it's not like I be having hundreds of people in here. Let me see. Let me see. Them Cooper creations, what effect do you feel? Oh, when y'all hear them Cooper creation, what effect do you feel? What is a Cooper creation? Let's go indigo for crystal. Indigo for crystal, Ashe. I like the indigo. I don't know what you meant by that because I don't know when you said it, but I just wanted to catch us up. Okay, so I'm here. All right, I'm back caught up. Let me know what you meant by the indigo. Let's go indigo for crystal if you can. Um, I think I mean copper. Oh, okay, copper. That's what I thought I read. When y'all wear them copper creations, what effect do you feel? Okay, like these. It feels more grounding. Like I've been ever since I wore my copper, I keep wearing the copper. I mean, this isn't copper, it's just something to match my copper. But this, and I have a copper ring, and whenever I do even bracelets, balance, I have one for each arm. They're not on right now. I call them my Wonder Woman click clanks, but you feel grounded because copper also helps with the what's the word? I can't find a word right now, but with the frequencies that are coming in and everything like that, it helps to ground you in those frequencies, and it helps also to kind of block the other, let's say EMs and stuff like that, whatever they call them. It helps to block some of that, almost like I want to say like a filter, filtering out some of these frequencies and helping to keep you grounded. And they say it's good to also put your water in copper containers. We had some as well, so that's how it feels for me. Um, I think he means copper. Thank you, something different, for clearing that up for me. For the dead, you light white candles. Yes, I forgot about that. Thank you as well. So you can put up water, a glass of water, and white candles as well. Thank you. Make sure your space is clean. You take a nice bath. Wear Florida water to bed. Ashe. There go to cleansing. That's what I'm talking about. Spiritual hygiene. And Jogon says shield. Yes, it's like a shield. While lighting the candle, you speak to your loved ones and make sure you leave water for them. Ashe, ashe. That is more, these are all ways of, thank you for sharing, of ways that you can connect to speaking to your loved ones. Me personally, I just talk to them. I mean, yes, you can do the water and the candles. That helps. It helps set the scene, set the mood, if you know what I mean. But for me, a lot of times at this point, especially with my dad, me and my dad, we'd be like, right there, it'd be something going on and I could feel him. And like I laugh and joke with him and his energy all the time because it's really an imprint energy. But I'll get on that. One of these days, we got to have just something where we're talking about the ancestors, and because I did a whole ancestral retreat, if anyone knows, I had just did one in Jamaica and I'm going to do another one, and it helps us to really connect and understand that the ancestors are also the answers in your blood, and they existing as we hear them is more like for an imprint that is still here in this realm, that is connected to you, particularly through your bloodline. But they themselves, in their own soul ascension, they continue on. Like for some of you all, some of y'all ancestors already came back here. Like they're already back here and in somebody else's family. And things that you do now to help free up certain things in the for them in the ancestral realm helps them in their forward movement where they are right now. Stories for another day. Right? They are coming from the water, so it's good for them. Yes. Ashe. And they need extra from you. Thank you. So that's that information to share with you on the ancestors and the crossing over and how we can honor them. So please remember, out of all of this, what I would love to leave with y'all on the ancestors tip, and I'm gonna jump back into my Sirius gateway, is do not hold them in those vibrations that you knew of them and how they lived. Honor that they, as a spirit, are transitioning back over and they need all the help to help shake the densities of what they were held in low vibration. So if you know that they did certain things that are either wrong or like I said, gang life or whatever, don't glorify that thinking that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted when they were in their body. But once they transition and they're in the soul, they go back into the all-seeing eye, they go back into the all-knowing, and their spirit knows better, and they don't want you holding them in that vibration. Take it how you want to take it, but that is what it is. So you got to act like you don't know them. Like you might be like, but this is how I know them. But that's about you, not them. So do you want to help them in their transition or not? That's how I'm gonna leave that. So with that said, let me get back to Sirius as something different was reminding us about. So let me go into the Sirius gateway. So in this Sirius gateway, we usually have it from the 3rd to the 7th, as I said, and that would be 5 days, right? This is 9 days. This is the expansion that just blew my mind. And as I said, it was coming off of um, if you use picture, you're calling them in that form. Okay, thank you for that reminder. See, Zodakula. Am I saying that right? Zodakua. Thank you for that. Don't use their picture too. If they lived in that old life, good idea, good point. And you're right, because that's why I took down one of my ancestors' picture. And my family was so pissed off. Why you taking on their picture? Like I was disrespecting him. And it was like, no, you can't honor him in that way. And I had to dig deep to find an old picture of him that expressed him living his life in a happy way, like with him smiling, because he does not smile in any of his pictures. He's a very serious man. So I had to find something where he was just expressing his true self. And that was the picture that I used. So you got a point. You got a point. Thank you for reminding me of that. If you know they live the way that you don't want to hold them in those densities, do not use those pictures. Right? Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back. So Sirius gateway, peace, love, and light. Dorothy, thank you. Dorita, I'm saying Dorothy. Dorita, thank you. Thank you for the heart and the Sirius gateway. So let's get serious about Sirius. Where my Sirius star seeds at? Let me know if you a star seed. Drop it in the chat, Sirius or star seed. Let me know. So with Sirius, we're getting all these light codes now, and it started July 1st. So if we count 9 days, this is why today being July 9th, even though we passed midnight, but the 9th is the 9 days that we are in this window. And when it's most potent, is dead smack in the middle. It's just like if you think about the full moon, as I said, we do a full moon window of 7 days, 3 days before up to 3 days after, with the moon being at its peak in the middle. Think of it like that. So in the Sirius gateway, it is the 9 days, right? Right now, this is what I'm sharing with you all fresh off the pot. I didn't read this out no book anywhere. This is a download coming in today. What if you look it up or anything, if you even listen to Dr. Sirius B, you're going to hear more of it being from the 3rd to the 7th. And I know because that's what I had it on as well until the information dropped in. So Let's go with the 3rd through the 7th. Even if you're looking at that, you're going to see 5 days. So it's a 5 day Sirius gateway that starts on the 3rd and goes to the 7th. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 is still in the middle. So we're seeing the repetition of this number 5. There's something about this 5. And because 5 also represents change, right? 5 represents physical, spiritual balance, which also is change. You don't change unless you have a physical, spiritual balance. When you have that harmony of duality between the physical and the spiritual realm, then there is going to be change. I mean, change happens regardless, but effectively, efficiently, intentionally, purposefully, when we have that balance, then we will change. Change will be made. Ashe, right? Yes, Genesis all the time. What they say, God is good all the time. God is good. That great order of divinity, I'm always underneath the umbrella of that, right? This is divine. This is God. This is the relationship that we are having with the divine. It's one thing to know, it's another thing to walk with a relationship hand in hand. And this is a part of that relationship. You relating to the stars is a relationship because we are all under the stars. The divine is all a part of that. If you can't relate to the stars, then you don't have a relationship with the great order of divinity, right? My sign, that's a whole nother conversation. But I could simply say, yes, my sign, my sun sign is a Libra. But that's just how I show up in the outer world. We can't really go by our sun sign. That's a whole nother story. I need to do a whole nother live about our natal charts and things like that. So yes, air. Air is my element, but I'm more earthy than anything. And I'm more Virgo than anything. So that may be my sun sign, but it's about where you have a stellium, right? So and a stellium is where you have 3 or more planets in one place. That's a stellium. Um, but this particular gateway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as I said, and 5 being in the middle. Okay, thank you, Spirit. That's where I was. So 5 being in the middle, 5 being that number of change. So there's a reason why 5 is used right in the middle. If y'all remember, 2 or 3 years ago, they talked about CERN being turned on the 5th. Let me know if y'all remember. Who remembers that? Put CERN, drop CERN in the chat. Don't drop CERN. Drop a 5. We don't need to repeat that word. Drop a 5 in the chat. If any of you remember when they was saying, "Oh, CERN just got turned on," or there was something going on with CERN, I'm gonna say turned on because that's the way I was hearing it. About um, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago, right? 5. Okay, see something different. Yes, they said they reset it on the full moon. This was about 3 years ago, right? And they just turned it off. Not the whole thing, but they just, what is it? They just turned something off. I think they turned it off, shut it down. They shut it down while they're fixing a part of it until 2030. Go figure. Cause they got some ish up their sleeve for 2030. Whole nother story. Um, so that happened on the 5th. And I knew it was about 3 years ago because it was before I got deep into the Sirius gateway. And as soon as I got into understanding the Sirius gateway, I was like, okay, so no wonder why they turned on CERN on the 5th because it's in the peak. And me knowing what I know about the moon is most potent when it's at its peak. So when I do my moon work 3 days before, 3 days after, everything is really potent on the day of the full moon. So if I'm looking at the Sirius gateway, it's more potent when it's at its peak. I'm kind of treating it like a full moon if you get what I'm saying. So I realize they know this too. So they utilize when it is at its peak. And when I say peak, that means at its most optimal, high potential, high vantage point of these light codes coming straight through from Sirius through the sun to Earth. There's positioning and there's timing about these things, and they are very well aware. So if you can imagine it coming in and moving, and as they're moving, and then there's a point where it comes into a perfect alignment, and that is the midpoint. So that is the 5. And hence why they use that day, because they're trying to utilize these light codes, right? They don't tell us all this information. Matter of fact, around this time, they distract you, right? Around this time, they distract you. And that's why you have 4th of July. The day right before the 5th, they give you big distractions. Everybody go hanging out and doing all of this stuff. And then the next day, you don't even know your energy was already harvest. You're not at your highest point, highest potential. They already harvest what they needed to harvest from you for the perfect alignment for them to utilize these collective energy frequencies, particles that's smashing into each other. If y'all hear what they're talking about with CERN, they are trying to find the freaking God gene. Like they're trying to have the reason why they shut it down. I don't know how many of you know, but if you read up on it, you'll see the reason why they shut it down is because they want to work on a part where they're putting particular magnets and whatever in there so they can turn up the speed of when the atoms or whatever smash into each other. The particles are bouncing all around, and they want, when they smash, that they activate something, right? Higher potentiality for what they're really trying to mimic that happens naturally amongst us with our energy particles, with our light particles. They're trying to mimic this, right? So imagine if they need all of our energy, they need to extract you, me, everybody, harness all of it, harvest. Let me not say harness, harvest all of it. Yes, the God particles. And then they take all of that. Remember, all of this is in the atmosphere, it's in the ethers. They don't need to have you hooked up to a machine to harvest you. This is what 5D is here to show you. Those of you who really know 5D know that it's all in the energy. Ashe? Let me see what some of you are saying, because I did see some answers there and I wanted to make sure I get it. Yep, I'm hip. I don't give them damn demons that much power. That's right. And I don't. I'm just telling y'all what's happening, right? And I don't like to say just, because I ain't justifying nothing. I am giving y'all the information of what is happening, but don't get it twisted. I don't give them any power, because I know the power is right here in me and I know what I'm doing. And those of us who are lighting up on the light grid, we know what we doing. If you get a chance, you might want to check out the video that I just did earlier about, what was it, today or yesterday? I don't know, but you'll see it. And it's about why they can't find the God gene. Has to do with that. It's about activating the God gene for yourself. And when we know that that is within us to do, and they don't have that power, that's why they're trying to make a machine to do it. We are that technology. We are that machine. And I just saw the 9 turn to a 10. We are that. So they don't have no power. I'm only explaining to you what it is that they out there trying to do. Because what? Triers are for liars. So let them keep lying and trying. They ain't getting nowhere. They don't have the DNA to open the seal. Ashe, you know it. That's what I was talking about. We have the DNA. That's why they constantly trying to get into our DNA. They don't have that DNA. They can't open the seal. And when you watch the video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when I said that God gene. Because the only way to activate it is by releasing certain densities, and only we have the power to do that. They won't. Those NPCs and all that, they won't, because they are narcissistic and they fear annihilation. So they will never think to get rid of their densities. They're going to always try to capitalize on somebody else and harvest and all of that, but they would never think to sit down and have accountability and get rid of their densities. That is a human, that is a human that is ascending capability, who has to have spiritual maturation to sit with themselves and do that. That is humans who are on higher vibrations, because low vibrational people can't fathom it, because they too are consumed with those wounds, those demons, those entities, that whole narcissistic system and parasitic entanglement that refuses to have any accountability or release any densities. If you don't do that, you will not have those God particles smashing, because you won't open up the dormant codes. The only way they open up is when you release the densities. Anyhow, let me continue. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that. Bah, 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 bah. I wish I had something loud to blow my horn for that. They don't have the DNA to open the seal. They can't do it. Can't touch this. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I know I just showed my age, but can't touch this. Mm-mm. Oh, somebody did ask my age, but I'm not telling you. I said you got to tell me what it do, what it look like. Let me see. The pleasure of being closer to source outweighs the pain of being closer to the finite. Ashe. Dwell in the infinite love of the finite pain. Let your hurt be short and without lamenting. Oh, okay. I think that was said earlier. I'm just now getting to that. And that might have been said earlier when we were talking about loved ones and things like that. Thank you for adding to that. Let your hurt be short without lamenting. Yes. The less we lament, the more we can get bent. Bend with the light codes. Let the light codes bend with you. Swerve and a dip. 222. Oh, thank you. You saw the 222? That's our numbers. 222. They try to merge the realms, but it's not going to happen. No, because we in a bifurcation split. The timelines are splitting. There is no merge. Let them go merge with their damn selves. Because they are, that's what's happening. They all getting stuck together, the old earth, new earth, and all of those in low vibrations that don't want to get rid of their densities are going to stay in that old earth until they rotten and fizzle away, and whatever else that happens, until they all just kind of get sifted out by all these purges that are happening little by little. Let me see. Is there a soulless system? Oh, that's a good question. Yes, that's the NPCs. Is there a soulless system? Those are the non-participating, what MP non-participating characters. They're soulless. Those are the ones who are consumed by their wounds. So the entities, the parasitic entities completely are engaged with them, infused with them, and their souls have been snatched. I call them snatched souls. Some are people that once carried the light but allowed their souls to be snatched. They've devolved that deep that they're walking around like zombies, right? And some are just straight up NPCs. Like we got entities that walk amongst us that are NPCs. And the human that they are hosting does not know that it is an NPC. That's the thing. A lot of times some people talk about this like these people know they NPCs. And they be right there with you going, yeah, these damn NPCs. Nigga, use an NPC too. You're an NPC. They don't know though. But that's a soulless system. The system that is a part of that whole parasitic entanglement, that is a part of the whole narcissistic system. Narcissist is not just a personality disorder. We're hearing, look at why we're hearing so much about them right now. Because the way that the earth is shaking and quaking, the way that the timelines are splitting and shifting, so many of us are shaking off the parasites. And they don't like that. They need something to host on. And that's why we're hearing so much about them, because it is a demonic dis-ease. It is a demonic entity. It is an expression of the parasite in and of itself. The narcissist is the narcissistic energy or system is the means through which it moves through people and controls people. That's why it has to wear a mask. That's why they stay masked up. They're soulless. And so that whole soulless system is cutting up right now. That's why y'all hear everybody talking about narcissists and all of this. You've been knew these narcissists. We've been knew, but we didn't know who they were, what they were. We just thought, man, these some real messed up people. God damn, they messed up. Damn, my mom did this, my dad did. Yeah, because you are in a family that is hosting a whole parasitic entanglement, which means there's narcissistic activity going on. There's manipulation, there's triangulation, all of that. It's all a part of that soulless system, right? God particles, yes, they'll never work because they are artificial. They can't recreate nature. That part right there. They can't recreate it, and no machinery is going to help them.